Yeah, the last one.
You know how you say I am maple in French?
No.
Je m'appelle.
Oh my god.
What?
We have massive oyster mushrooms growing on our firewood.
That's hilarious.
Look at these, they're fresh looking too.
Yeah, those are fresh. Those were not there.
You want some breakfast? Should I take this one out?
I mean, sure.
Okay, well, once this one's done providing us food, I guess we'll burn it. That just means that our firewood is low quality. Or we're just bad at drying it and doing all the firewood stuff. Okay. They look good. Oh, these aren't fucking oyster mushrooms. These are just like...
Birch polypores?
Yeah, they're polypores. They're probably just really young birch polypores.
Funny.
So yeah, we're not eating these.
No, ma'am.
Although I wonder, you know, because birch polypore is edible. So is it when it's really young and tender like this? Is it something you could eat?
Break it off and chew on it and see.
No,
Just kidding.
that's not how that works.
You stopped recording, right?
No,
Oh, shit.
I'm keeping all that in. Dee 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 dee.
I'm gonna start editing.
The trail to our cabin is getting a little overgrown, so I need to do some maintenance. So I need to cut back some of these brambles, and I figured I would utilize them to make some cordage. This will be my first time making cordage out of brambles, so I'm probably not going to do it right, but I'm trying to build my skills so that way I can do this kind of thing in the future in case I can't get my hands on conventional rope. So most of this is just raspberry brambles. I'm gonna just cut them all the way down at the ground, and then I'll show you the process of getting the fiber out for cordage. So that's a pretty decent pile. I don't think I'll be able to use all of it, but whatever I don't use, if it's still in good condition, I'll be feeding to my rabbits. In order to start processing these for cordage, we need to get off all of the leaves and also the outer layer bark that has all of the spines. In order to do that, it's pretty simple. You start at the growing tip of the cane, and you're just going to hold it with one hand, and then the other hand you just grasp and push down, and they should all come off. Make sure you're wearing gloves, obviously, and then if you're like me and you have holes in your gloves, just be careful not to use that part of your glove to do this. So you're just squeezing on the center cane, and you just work your way down. Oopsie. The closer you get to the part of the cane that was growing from the ground, the more difficult this will get. But with just some light pressure, it's really not too difficult. And then all of those spines should be off. Looks like I have a little bit more. That looks pretty good. So you want it to look something like that. Now you can remove your gloves. For tools for this project, I have a knife that's used for spreading frosting, the pruners that I already used, just a chunk of wood. This is to be used as a baton, and another chunk of wood to use as my work surface. The next step is to get off the rest of this bark layer Some of this bark layer did not come off just with using my gloves, so I need to use that knife to strip the rest of this off. So I'm just going to be running this along, and it should help loosen up that bark layer. You don't want to apply too much pressure because right under this bark layer is the fiber that we're going to be using for cordage, so you don't want to damage it. So just light pressure and it should just start peeling off. Pretty simple. And you just do that along the entire length of the bramble. So now we have exposed that fiber layer that we're after, and this is what is going to turn into cordage. So in order to release that from the cane, we have to crush it a little bit. The fine tip is going to be the easiest part. This really doesn't need much pressure. You could even just push it with your finger. You're basically just trying to crush that inner core, and that's going to help release these fibers. So I think we've reached about the end. The rest of this is too old, which isn't the best. The reason for this mostly is because I'm doing this late in the season. You would probably want to do this at the end of June, and I'm at the beginning of September. So a lot of these brambles are going to be a lot drier and harder than they would have been before, but this is as soon as I could get to this project. So we'll just see if we can make anything out of this. So I'm just going to cut it there. Okay. So it's starting to peel here. And you're just trying to get as long of strands as you can. Well, it looks like it's starting to do it, but nah. Well, when your project doesn't work, you switch gears. So I'm actually going to process these brambles for some rustic basket making. That way I don't have to separate the fiber layer. I can just use the entire cane. The only thing I have to take off are the leaves and the spines. And that's pretty much the final product that I'm going for today. I'm going to be storing this to use during the winter, and in order to store it, I'm just going to loop it into a circle carefully. Obviously don't break it. And then just pull this end into itself, and that should hold. If you do a larger bundle with more of these, it'll hold better. And then I can just store this and let it dry. And when I go to use it this winter, I'm going to want to dampen it for a few hours to get the flexibility back so it doesn't just crack. So I've got a couple bundles of the brambles. These should dry very nicely. They're pretty much already dry. They were green not even an hour ago, and they're already turning brown and oxidizing, so they should dry out really well. And then I'll just take this and submerge it in water, and once it's flexible enough, I should be able to use it to make some baskets. Or, well, one small basket. I'm gonna need a whole bunch more of this to make a big basket, but I can make a small one.